Serious. All right, so I know right now you're talking about kind of re-identifying who you are, and then people re-identify with how they receive you
Yep.
in terms of like, your post-playing careers. Now, earlier in the interview, you spoke about you're not really doing school. So I just have to ask, what inspired you to become an author?
So great question.
Yeah.
So I grew up dyslexic. I didn't know that until I got to Hawaii. I remember very vividly that I went with my mom alone, like in elementary school, to this big tall building to go do a reading test. And I was wondering why there was no other kids in there. But once I got done with that test, the next day at school, they started putting me in different classes during reading sessions. Still at the time, I didn't know like why. I knew I had a lower level, but it was like, okay, whatever. Well, that carried me all the way throughout high school, junior college, et cetera, et cetera. But when I got to the University of Hawaii, one of my counselors, I was doing some work with her, and she was like, I think you might have this, like, you might be dyslexic. I was like, I don't know. So I ended up doing a test, and sure enough, I got diagnosed with dyslexia. And then that's when life started to change on that end. And I started getting different handouts and things like that, and started getting different books and audiobooks and X, Y, and Z, and started having more success in school. But that's what inspired me to be an author, because I grew up dyslexic, and I want to show them what having something on you, what it looks like to still fight despite your circumstances, because your circumstance is not your conclusion. Just because I'm dyslexic don't mean you can't write a book. So I want to inspire other kids who might have learning disability or any disability or even thing that's holding them back, mental, physical, whatever it is, you still can do despite circumstances and adversities.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's what gave me that motivation to write it.
That's fire.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep, absolutely.
And then I follow you. I follow you on IG. Obviously, well, we talk whenever we see each other.
For sure.
But outside looking in, it always seems like you somewhere talking. I can't pinpoint where in the country, but you somewhere.
Yeah.
So like, what does your day to day look like in terms of like doing motivational speaking? And then a follow up question to that. In terms of your nonprofit, what is your long term goals as far as like where you want to take it?
I like it. So day to day is just like, I could be sitting here, what's today, Wednesday? I might get a phone call tonight and say, hey, can you be in Texas on Friday for this event to come speak at? And we'll go over details of flight, hotel, whatnot, right? They might call me and say, hey, can you be in DC in August? Right. So it's just the entrepreneurship and just taking on bookings. Right. But every day, and my family will tell you, like, I'm speaking, I'm working my craft. Without even realizing, I'm just really just being me. Right. But I'm working my craft and just talking too. So day to day, man, it's like, it's trying to find that next one. And I'm more like impact over income based. So when I go into a space, I'm always like, who can I impact today? That's what kind of get my anxiety of being in space to public speak away. Like, how do you speak in front of these people? But when I go into it thinking like it's not about me, but who can I impact and inspire, now the pressure's off. You get nervous when you think about like, oh, if I mess up, what if I stutter, what if I this and this and forget? Well, you're like in the flesh. I'm trying to be in the spirit. So when I'm in the spirit and like, who can I impact? But now I'm winning. It's not even about me. So I go into it trying to like impact somebody. Then that God will bless me with the income and all that stuff, right? So my day to day is just finding that next one, being in that process, right? The next game, I call them game days. Being in the next game, but if I have a game, right, I'm just practicing, working my craft, right? I'm the A-Rod that's trying to watch film, walk into the dining hall, right? I'm trying to get better and better and better and be the best I can be. And that leads me into the foundation. Like, I want to grow that to where I impact millions. Where I inspire children around the world, where I give youth resources and opportunities that they might not have or be aware that they have. Somebody out in the streets and they thugging heavy, they only think that thugging it is the way to make money to take care of my moms. Well, what if you do this trade? What if you get your GED and do this trade? Then you can make 20 an hour at 18 years old. By the time you're 22, 23, you're making $45 an hour, but you can take care of you and your moms with no overhead. You know what I'm saying? And so showing them a different way, right, and kind of bridging that gap between what real looks like, because we grew up with real looks like is having a bunch of women, the chains around my neck, a bunch of cars. That's what money looked like and real looked like to our community and our people, at least for us growing up in that era, right? So now with the entrepreneurship world, with the young boys, it still kind of looks superficial. So I want to show them what real look like and what actually hard work looks like and being in the process look like and actually doing something that you love. I got guys all the time who do music or art or they speak, whatever, and it's like, bruh, like you didn't take this booking because it was for free. They didn't want to pay you, but you said you love to do this and you want to get paid to do it, bro. Like I used to go fly places off my own dime to go speak for an hour and a half for free. Why? Because I love to do it and I want to impact somebody in that space that's have a need. Right? Like if I got the means to go buy this flight and go get in that space, come on, I'm going. Right? Now we got kids and bills, we gotta get paid, right? We gotta work. But like that would come, you know, and so now I haven't paid for a flight in like a year and a half. You know? And so I'm trying to get it to where I can start bringing the babies with me and we can like do a vacation, you know, a bag-cation, you know, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, they got to be exposed to it, right? You got to be exposed to it and like how it's a new life. And it's not just going to go speak, but it's going to go impact, you know, because that's what fills my cup too. So, but with the foundation, bro, yeah, I want to be able to impact millions, bro, and really spread the awareness of dyslexia, right? Overcoming adversity, bridging the gap, providing resources, and being that person of hope. You know, and really having that big dream and that vision, but then putting that belief behind it with somebody like me who went through it that can provide the resources.
That's fire. That's fire.
Yeah,
you know,
no question.
I pray that, you know, well, I'm praying on it, but I know you're going to achieve all that.
Yeah, so, for sure. I believe it. I'm manifesting it, man. Exactly. I'm manifesting it.
Yeah. Y'all got any more questions before me and him play a game real quick?
Oh no, I got a couple more.
Okay, go ahead.
It seems like, Costa, you have?
I got one more, but you go first. And then I'll
oh yeah, mine kind of overlaps. So I heard impact and just pure inspiration. Well, like one of the things is we've had like Tyler Monk on the podcast.
Yeah, that's my good guy.
Yeah,
that's my good guy. Yeah. You know, Tyler went to Benson too. Yeah, that's my good guy.
He's been on the show a few times.
Yeah,
and
that's what's up.
What do you call it? One of my pipe dreams has always been having like Portland motivational speakers like have a summit. Like I love ET and I love the framework that he does. And I was like, we have enough talent here to do that here.
I was just talking about that. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because later in the future, I think I'm gonna dabble in it just very minorly. But anytime we have any motivational speaker on here, I've always asked, what do you want for someone who comes to see you leave with? You talked about being impacted, and I'm just curious, you already had one, so what are the other two things from someone who sits down to listen to you? What do you want them to leave with?
Good question. I want them to leave with a different perspective, you know, a different approach to life, you know, a different way to deal with adversities, right? A different way to respond. You know, it's a responsibility is your ability to respond, right? Life is going to happen to you no matter what. Life is life, right? But how do you respond to it?
Please. Yeah,
right?
Please,
like take the emotion out, right? I use an analogy all the time. Like if I drop my phone and my emotion me would be like, oh man, my phone broke. I can't get into my IG. I forgot my Facebook password. I'm supposed to email this dude back to get this book in, man. My girl gonna think I'm out here tripping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be a lot going on, right? It's my emotions, right? But the solution base is just like, oh, my phone broke. Let me go to T-Mobile real quick and get my phone fixed. It's going to take me about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm back in the game just like that.
Boom.
You know, and so just having a different perspective on how to adapt, right, and midstream adjust, right? And a lot of things I learned from football. And so I got 5 points that I made. First one is alignment, right? Being aligned. You got to be aligned in life.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, you got to be aligned, right? If I'm playing football and the play is called trips right, Z left, 28 toss, well, I got to be 8 yards deep in the backfield. I can't be 9, I can't be 7, right? Because the play won't work. A-Rod won't give me the ball. My assignment, what's your assignment, right? So on trips right, Z left, 28 toss, my assignment is taking 3 steps to the right and catching the pitch from A-Rod and reading my block inside to out. Well, my assignment in life is to impact millions, right? I know my assignment. I know where I wake up, what I want to do. And that can teeter-totter and have an umbrella where other things fall under that, right? But my main goal, my main assignment is to impact. So if I go to Safeway, if I go to a school, if I go to a church, if I go to my mom's living room, my assignment is the impact, right? And so then your technique, right? So on my trips right, Z left, 28 toss, when I'm 8 yards deep in the backfield, and I got my 3 steps to the right, read my blocks inside out, my technique is, right, ball in the right hand on the outside, because if it's inside, I'm prone to having a fumble. Ball on the outside, I'm reading my blocks inside out, and I'm making 3 cuts. I'm making 1 cut to the outside. I'm making 1 cut straight to the middle. I'm taking it all the way backside for a big run, right? Based on what I read on my assignment, right? But there's a technique to how I do that. There's a technique to what we do in life. There's a technique to how I meet you when I come in this building, in this space, when I greet y'all before the podcast even come on. It's a technique to how I eat with my family. It's a technique to how I talk to my kids when they had a bad day. It's a technique to how I'm taking care of myself and I'm protecting my space when I go in certain places, right? Everything that we do is a technique to it, right? Because we know in sports and football, basketball, whatever it is, a bad technique might cost you a penalty. Now you got to go backwards 5-10 yards. So technique to everything that we do, and then you got your execution. So if I got my trips right, Z left. What is it? Yeah, see, 28 toss.
28
In the backfield.
I know, 8 yards back.
There we go. Right, got my 28 toss. Right now, I'm just after I got my technique, my alignment, assignment, all these things. Now I'm just being an athlete and running my play and using my God-given natural born ability, right, to make people miss. Whether it's jumping, running you over, making you miss by cutting left, right, whatever I did growing up in Deacon, whatever I do, my God-given ability, I'm just running my play. So when I go about life, I'm using my gift and my talent to navigate through life, right? Like if I'm charismatic, I'm using my charisma when I go in spaces. If I have a great smile, I'm gonna smile at you. If I know that I like people and I'm based on relationships and I value relationships, I'm gonna have a great conversation with you, right? I'm just using my God-given ability to run my play in life, right? And then the last one is you finish. You got your alignment, where you supposed to be, your assignment, what are you supposed to do, your technique, how do you do it, you execute, and then you just finish it off, right? So as a running back, they always say you fall forward, because when you fall forward, you gain about 2 or 3 yards. And we know in football and in life, bro, football and winning is a game of inches, right? So that 1 inch of falling forward might cost me a win or a lose. So if I fall, we all fall down in life. When I fall, I want to fall forward, though. And what does that mean, Alex? What that means is fall doing something that's in your purpose. I don't want to fall being somewhere that I'm not supposed to be. If I'm going to fail, I'm going to fall. I'm going to fall and fail doing something that I know I'm supposed to be doing, and it just didn't work. But I'm still in that space where it didn't work. I don't have to change locations and all these things for it to work. Now, I'm going to fall in that space, and I'm going to learn in that space how to navigate in that space, but I'm still in that space.
That's tough.
So there you go.